Hello, namaste, and welcome to Agile Exploration Hub. I am your host, Nagesh Deshpande. First of all, let me wish all the women a happy International Women's Day. So, on this Women's Day, we are bringing a panel discussion on a very important and essential topic that everyone is talking about is AI. So, how is growth happening in the era of AI? And if you ask me, why should you watch this episode? AI is changing the way we work now and lead as well as grow as a leader. So, on this International Women's Day, special panel, we have experienced women leaders shares how they see the career growth in evolving AI, in this era. So, you will hear honest perspective on leadership and how to stay relevant in today's fast changing tech world. So, we have a very diverse, very highly experienced panel today. Let's welcome our panel. So, first, I would like to welcome Rashmi, Gazala, Meghana, and Jyoti. So, we'll start with Rashmi. So, she will introduce about her and then moving on to next panelist. Welcome,
Yeah.
Rashmi.
Thank you, Nagesh. Thank you so much for having me. I'll quickly introduce myself. My name is Rashmi Fernandez. I'm a leadership agility and culture transformation coach. I've got about 25 years of work experience, and I'm here. I'm basically based out of Bangalore, and I'm here to talk about what growth means for women in the AI era. And I feel we are in a very, very interesting time for women. Thank you.
Welcome. Gazala.
Hello, everyone, and in advance, happy International Women's Day. I'm working with Evalent. I'm also Agile leadership coach, and I'm working as a transformation leader in at Evalent. And the way Rashmi said, it's very interesting era, and I'm very excited about it because our generation has seen lots of transformations, right? From the computer evolution now in the AI. So let's see how we can evolve together, and some interesting facts we are going to share today. Thank you.
Most welcome. Yeah. Meghana.
Hello, everyone. Meghna here. I'm based out of Bangalore, an enterprise product and agile coach, and very happy to be on this panel to share my thoughts on a very important topic of how things are changing for us in the AI era and what are all the exciting things to come. So let's see as the conversation unfolds.
Absolutely. Okay. And last but not the least, Jyoti.
Hi everyone, my name is Jyoti. I'm based out of Bangalore, working as senior engineering manager in BT. And first of all, I feel very fortunate to be part of this panel discussion. I see women, my peer women leaders having more than experience, and I see a lot of learning opportunity for me through these podcasts. Yes, when I started my journey, I used to see very few women leaders, but now I see a lot of women leaders. So that gives a lot of encouragement to young leaders like us to look up to the women and see how they are managing work, family, and rest of other things. And I'm really looking forward to this discussion.
Great. So once again, welcome all the panelists. So yes, that's the one of the outcome of today's episode. Uh, how or how to learn, how to gain that experience, or how to move into leadership role. So let's have some discussion now, and I would like to hear it from Meghna. Meghna, how is AI changing leadership expectations now? AI is there already on our doors.
Right. So, as Nagesh rightly mentioned, AI is already there. A lot of things will change, and they are already on their path to changing. And first and foremost, I think now the expectation from leadership uh, is much more than it was in past to be really data driven. Because with AI, we are all as leaders in our individual capacity going to get access to a whole lot of data and a structured analysis or inferences from the data or insights from the data. So yes, using the data as leaders in the best possible manner, be it for evidence-based leadership or be it to increase your team's skills and capabilities. I think as leaders, we need to start encouraging the usage of AI first and then start using it and encouraging the use of it. And as we are doing this, the second expectation would be to ensure that things are ethical, the data is protected, and we ourselves as leaders, we may or may not be really the data experts, but do we have checks and balances in place? Do we have all the necessary aspects considered when it comes to protecting the data, when it comes to ethical use of AI? And last but not the least, very, very important is the human in the loop at all times. So,
Right.
be it we using AI for our own day-to-day professional things or the products based on AI and so on, what is very important is that we use AI well. We use AI in a very, very structured manner, and we ourselves take responsibility of the decisions based on what we get from AI. So the human in the loop continues to be extremely important. And as leaders, we need to encourage all these three, I think. Back to you,
So
Nagesh.
continuing on the same question, I want to hear
Mhm.
from Rashmi. Rashmi, like, do you see the more women are being involved in these decision makings, like, a use of AI, or how can AI empower the business?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I think if you actually look at, because I've been here in the industry for 25 years, if you look at the past when I was just starting out, there were not many opportunities for women, especially in leadership positions. We were, I was told that, focus on understanding the work really well, be an expert at something, and then you will, succeed. And we were always getting hooked on to becoming the expert and being the best at whatever you could. And you can easily tell that I fell into this perfection trap because of that. I wanted to be the best at whatever I did. But today there are so many opportunities, and fortunately, unfortunately, all these tasks and expertise that we were after is getting automated, with AI coming in. And now you really have the opportunity to show the qualities that I think as women we have that comes naturally to us. Empathy is one of the biggest thing, right? I loved
Right.
what Meghana said, bringing the humanness into the system, right? So we are already good at it. We come, inbuilt. Our DNA has empathy within us. So I think leveraging that empathy, and most women are also known for being able to come up with good judgment.
Agree. Yes.
Execution works really strong for us. So those elements are now going to be much more important than any other. And then if you compare to our male counterpart, it becomes really, really an advantage for us to be much more forthcoming and much more successful, because those strengths are naturally within us. That's
Absolutely agree.
is
Yes.
that's
See,
my
in my experience, when I work with a lot of women, this is my experience. Women are very good in analytical data analytics or analytics, analyzing something. Yeah. And throughout my work experience, I worked with such powerful women. Now I can see the opportunity where they can do. And if we are talking about AI, it's all about data. So when there is a data, you have to do the analysis, and there is a great growth for who wants to go from mid-career to leadership role to go into that direction. Okay. So do you agree, all of you? Yes.
sure.
Okay. Now, moving on to second question, I would like to hear from Gazala. What does career growth really mean in the AI era?
Okay, AI has changed the expectations a lot, right? So in previous area we used to say, okay, I have to move ladder, I have to go from one step to next step, but not currently. That is not the stage, right? You have to expand your horizons. Whatever you are doing, how you can do efficiently is the main question right now, and how you can embed AI in your work. That's what everyone is looking for. So all the dynamics have been changed. So from a woman's perspective, if you see, we undergo lots of changes naturally, right?
Right.
First we start with a daughter, then sister, then mother, then a wife, then motherhood. So all these changes we naturally accept, right? Similarly, now we have to accept the changes which AI is bringing. The way Meghna and Rashmi said, data-driven world. So now you have to speak morely in terms of data. So for a career growth, now you have to think in that direction. And previously, we don't used to talk much about customer. Now, if
Right.
here everywhere we are saying customer centricity, we have to understand customer needs first. What customer wants from us. So if we can't focus just on our task, we can't just focus on individual work now. So we have to have a broader perspective of a customer whenever we are doing something. Now we have to tie everything whatever we are doing with outcome. So what will be my ROI? What I'm going to do the give the value to my customer. So all these questions now we have to start asking, and we have to start working towards that. So that is actually a career growth nowadays. So instead of having an individual thinking, we have to say that, okay, for my organization, what I can do so that we can deliver value in a better fashion. So these all dynamics are changing, and the third thing which I will say is the speed. So we can't say that, okay, we are going to deliver it after 6 months.
No. Yeah.
Previously, we used to have a releases for the after years, but now it has come to many releases in a day. The
Right.
Google and everyone had set such a high dynamics to us. And I think women are better in that because time management is their key skill, which they use with their kids, with their parents, and everywhere, and whatever tasks they are doing at home. So definitely they have these advantages of things which they can implement in their career. So I think these are the things.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah. So the change is constant. So adopt it, learn about it, and experiment and go ahead with the change. Yeah. Grow. That's the outcome of this discussion. Now, moving on, I would like to hear from Jyoti. Jyoti, how can professionals stay relevant now? There's so many change happening. AI is coming, and then there are fear in the market that my role will be taken away by AI. So how can we stay relevant now?
So I'll take the point which Rashmi mentioned that with AI, we are automating the task, right? People still remain important aspect of whatever we do.
Right.
And if I talk with respect to women, there are certain things which come naturally to us, like empathy, right? Psychological safety. If we have to say something in family setup, also we ensure that okay, we are able to take care of everybody's emotion, right? So in the era of AI, if I talk particularly from women's lens, there's a lot to grow now. You're not going to become irrelevant. In fact, those human superpowers, now you can tap onto those empathy, collaboration, psychological safety, change. As Gazala mentioned that, okay, we as a woman, we go through a lot of changes, like our from a daughter to a wife to a mother. We are embracing those changes so beautifully, right? So this is the era where all your natural skills as a woman, it's time for us to shine using these skills. And also I would say that with AI, there's one more thing which we are able to tap into. Like we didn't had a lot of women leaders, but now we have, but we never had a direct access to them. But now if you're facing any challenges, like this is what I do. I look up to certain women leaders and I ask some questions through prompt, how that individual would tackle this situation. Okay, how if Charlene would be there in this situation, how she would be tackling this, right? Or how Indra Nooyi would be tackling this situation. So these are some of the things you are able to access through AI.
Great. Yeah, that's a good way of doing it, right? So identify or set a role model, whichever the woman role model that you have. Use their example. Also follow what they are reading, what they're doing on day-to-day business. If they have a podcast, listen to that. Oh, these are the good things, and then use AI to understand their mindset, how their growth mindset was implemented by them. Also want to hear views of Meghna on this point. Meghna?
Sure, Nagesh. I think a very important shift is going to be, and which is already happening, is on moving a little bit away from just executing tasks to
Right.
really value creation or driving outcomes. And what will become much more important than what it is in past is the strategic thinking, the creativity, the problem solving, which we as humans can bring in a much higher amount than any algorithm would ever have. So if you want to stay relevant tomorrow, if you want to build your career for the future, make sure you are always asking this question to yourself as to what value can I create based on my capabilities. And some of the panel members already highlighted on what makes us as women distinct, because we bring in a different perspective, which probably is something we can encash much more than what we've been able to do in past. I think the second aspect would be really to put much more higher emphasis on lifelong learning. You see people talk about a lot of things that today AI can do. They talk about tools, they talk about the prompts, they talk about a whole lot of things. Tomorrow, or even maybe by the time we are done with this panel discussion, we will have newer versions of all of that. Maybe
Absolutely.
that's the pace at which things are going. So keep learning and make that as your most important thing, learning by doing. How do you future proof yourself with all the new things happening? There will be newer roles coming in. There will be augmentation to what you do. So today, if you are a coach, tomorrow you will see that somebody wants to hire an AI proficient or AI expert agile coach, and so on. Maybe for different other roles, the same thing is going to happen. So combine your key strengths with the ability to learn. Do that time and again. Make sure you have all the strategic thinking, creativity as much as you can pull together, and let AI be your augmented co-pilot to take you through this journey. And of course, there are so many things that you should revise. Maybe it's there at the back of our minds. The ability to continuously experiment. Don't shy away from this. Learn by doing. Keep keep trying to learn new things, open stuff, see what you can do with it. And that's exactly how you're going to learn. And while you're doing all of this, my final word of guidance would be responsible. What kind of data you're uploading onto, if you're doing that, what kind of data you're uploading onto your tools, what are you using? Is it really ethical? Is it under whatever are your best known guidelines on data governance and the like? So try to appraise yourself a little bit about that as well. Experimentation, ability to learn is definitely all very good. You will need more of that, but use it with caution so that you are ending up on a very strong and good path for yourself and for developing new skills. So augment your skills today with AI as much as you can in the backdrop of all of what I just mentioned. I think that's what would be
Great.
interesting way to reshape.
Absolutely. So, in short, just leverage the AI to create the value and deliver the value.
Absolutely.
Right. So, moving on, we all, and specifically all you women leaders, have started from an individual contributor, a small role, and then grown up. You move into the ladder, and then you become a leader, and you are doing successfully. I just wanted to hear from Rashmi. Rashmi, what mindset helped you to reach this level now?
Yeah. I consider myself a lifelong learner, and I love what Meghna and Gazala were sharing about learning, right? And if you actually look at my career path as well, it's been crazy. And people said, "How did you even manage to do all this?" Because of this one aspect of being a lifelong learner and jumping onto opportunities that came on my way, knowing that if it fails, it fails, but I'm going to try, right? So like I shared before, I'm done my graduation in microbiology, did my master's in English, and then I moved to set up my own training institute in the very beginning, and then I became a fraud analyst. Then I became a financial expert. I was a project leader in a finance department for about 7 years, and then moved back to technology as a project leader, then became a scrum master, agile coach, product coach, innovation coach, and today a leadership coach, right? So my transition has been really crazy, and the domains have been like really, people always doubted me when I said I'm moving from finance to technology. They said, what the hell will you do there? Because you don't know how to code. And I'm like, I've I'm carrying leadership skills with me. So wherever I go, if I'm able to be a good leader, I think I'll be able to manage, and it's okay. And if I fail, I fail. That mindset probably helped me, and which is what is continuing to be. So after I quit my corporate job, I started my master's in psychology because I got so intrigued about human-centered leadership. I wanted to understand more of mindsets and behaviors, and I did my master's. And today I'm doing my doctorate in, leadership for multi-generational workforce. So I think that's one thing that has kept me going, and I'm so hungry to learn anything new that comes into my vicinity. I just go grab and learn. And like Jyoti was mentioning earlier before this call, that she is into manifestation. I just started learning manifestation 3 months back, and I want to see how I can get there too. But I think that curiosity, and the intent to learn and upskill yourself, I think is the most important skill that has helped me come to whatever level I've come today.
Great. Amazing journey. Great story. Yeah. Jyoti, your views on this growth mindset?
So Rashmi has covered everything so beautifully. But I'll share the mindset I didn't had, right? What prevented me to take up those new challenges. One being thinking that, okay, another skill, another certification is required before I take that opportunity. That was something which hindered my growth like very early. I think I was having 9 to 10 years of experience, and my manager left, so I was given an opportunity to be the manager, to take that team and lead as a manager. But I stepped back, thinking that, oh, I don't lack the skills. I don't have the skill. Plus, what if people would come to me and they'll ask me certain things and I won't know the answer, because I was under the impression that as a manager you should know everything. You should know each and everything. Okay, be it testing, be it coding, be it deployment, right? So those were the things I was lacking, right? Wish I had met Rashmi earlier, right? But eventually I realized, I think as you grow, you mature, you see people that you would never feel yourself as ready, right? You cannot prepare 100%. The moment you prepare for 100%, as Meghna mentioned that, okay, maybe I pick one tool and I'll start learning and I'll wait, okay, let me learn this for 100%, let me take all these certification, it would be gone, right? So you'll never be completely ready. So that's a shift which happened in me, Nagesh, that, okay, I don't have to just focus on skill, coding certification, etc. Go jump, take the project, right, and learn loudly, right? So this is what I do, right? Whatever I'm learning, I started teaching also, because I'm very passionate about teaching. So what I do, okay, I want to pick something, I want to learn, okay, let's go ahead and teach, because when you teach you learn more. And manifestation has always been my favorite thing, right? So that also helped me, Nagesh. A lot of things people believe that maybe a podcast for another time, but people think manifestation is writing affirmations, vision board. No, it has a lot to do with identity shift, right? So if I want to do what Rashmi, Meghna, or Gazala are doing, I have to start imbibing that behavior in myself, right? That is also part of a manifestation, and then I can move forward.
Great.
Yeah.
So,
I'd like to add something to what Jyoti shared, right? So she spoke about experimentation, and I think Gazal also mentioned it earlier. I think today in the AI era, that's the most important skill,
right.
because things are changing so fast. You don't, like if you mentioned that you're going to finish this call, Meghna mentioned that you're going to finish this call and something would have changed somewhere, right? So expertise is important, but if you carry that expert mindset and say, oh, I know it all, I don't have to learn this, you're not going to grow, right? So identifying the difference between having an expert mindset versus an expertise is also important. Secondly, I think at a point where we are now, you can never be an expert at anything in the given point in time because things are changing so fast. So experimentation is the only way forward. You jump in, you learn, you figure it out, and then you move forward, right? So I think as women, we are put into those situations right from the start, from childhood, and it comes again naturally to us. And if we can hone that, and focus on the strengths that we already have rather than trying to be someone else, I think we will be in a far more better position than we think we can be ourselves.
Great.
One more thing I
So,
want to add.
yeah, Gazala. Yeah,
So beautifully, Rashmi, Jyoti covered the things, but one more thing I think we should have is a positive mindset. Because
absolutely.
now because of this changing era, we have put in many times put in such a situations, we think that I should quit, but
Hmm.
that time we should not. So there was one example in my career I have seen when I joined Everland. After a year or two, there were lots of changes happening, and layoff happened for whole US team. Scrum masters were all removed, and my team was in a panic. What we should be doing now? So many put resignations and find out another job. But that time I was determined. No, I'm going to reestablish my team, and I'm going to make the value out of it, and I'm going to show that to the organization. And now I can say proudly that I am having 8 Scrum Masters teams in India, and we are managing US and India both.
Great.
So if positive mindset if you have, then definitely you can change the game. But at that time, if you quit, then definitely you will face the failure. So these challenges will come into our career throughout our career, and we have to face them.
Nice.
That is one more
Great.
point.
Amazing takeaways from all this discussion. Moving on, I want to hear from Jyoti. How should the mid-career professional rethink about their career path now? So, few examples we already discussed, but let's say I'll put you few situations like someone is on career break, maybe, or someone is trying to change their role from a developer or tester to maybe a manager. So, how can they rethink about all these things now?
Yeah, Nagesh, I would say mid-career is very interesting period for us women, I would say. Like I'm also in that phase right now. Okay, do I go ahead for a director role or I take care of baby being a new mom, right? So these are some genuine challenges you'll come across, and as a woman, we tend to overthink, right? We think about situation which have not happened, right? I have not joined the office after maternity break, but I'm thinking so much. Okay, what would happen if I'm in meeting? What would how would I do this? How would I do that, etc. Though preparation is the key. Like okay, start outsourcing, start delegating, right? So similarly, if you are on a career break or you want to change role, first of all, stop overthinking. That would be my first advice, right? And always, like, this is what I do. I get inspired by examples around me, right? And now with AI, you get example very easily, right? You can always give the scenario which you are facing, and you can get 4 5 examples, like okay, who are the women who have been in similar situation, how they tackled the similar situation, right? So you have example, you have known path, it's not unknown to you. Yes, based on where you are, your culture, your area, things would be different, but now you have a lot of plethora of examples out there, so use those, right? There are women who have taken break. I think Gazala was mentioning that whenever we talk about career, we are talking about ladder, right? But if I take an example of career break, stop thinking about the ladder part. Think about okay, building your horizon, exploring various opportunities, jumping onto it, learning, and then eventually, yes, you'll climb that ladder. You'll be able to cross that mid career situation which you are facing, right? So it's always about experiment. Use AI to find examples. Use AI for a coaching session, right? Like now, 60 to 70% of the here you can use AI. I think that's the best example of an AI, right? You can give the problems, and also talk to people around you. And third would be yes, keep yourself motivated, have that positive mindset. What is looking difficult right now, eventually you'll find people helping you out there. I see organizations, they are changing, they are understanding, they are becoming really inclusive. Yeah, so these are certain things you can do to tackle that mid career crisis.
Great. Gazala, you want to add anything?
Yes, Nagesh. I will say play on your strengths. So when you are in a mid-career level, definitely till that time you have identified what your strengths are. Like I started with the testing, but then I understood that wherever I am going there, I am getting a role of leaderships. Right? You should behave as a test lead. You are supposed to present the things, or you have to attend the calls where you have to present reports or discuss the data. So the way you progress in your career, definitely you understand where my strengths are lying, and you also start finding some inclination towards particular area. Suppose I am agile coach, but I found that okay, product management is more challenging me, or it's there I should invest my career, my time in my career. So please go ahead and take that opportunity. Try in your organization whether you are getting that opportunity or not. uh, and unless you go and speak about it, you will not get opportunity. So please go and ask your leaders, okay, I want to explore this area, may I get opportunity? And in many organizations I have seen that IGPs are there, and they're encouraging people to switch their careers from one stream to other stream. In our organization, even from operations people, we have taken them into the technical areas because they have shown that inclination, they have done some certifications, they have shown some learning. So first step you have to take, and then these things will get sorted easily. Another bit I will say it is do market survey. Many times what happens when we start our career, we get so much involved in our day to day activities, we forget about the market, where the market is going, what all new things are coming up, where our job is going to be, or this role is going to be relevant or not, or whether this role is going to transform into the another role or not, what learnings we should be applying, what certifications are making more relevance nowadays. So all these things we have to keep on doing. So if we just keep on focusing on our daily task and daily job, then you're missing on many things. So you have to be relevant with the market as well. So these are the two takeaways.
Great. Good point. So moving on. Uh, so let's talk about some leadership habits. So what leadership habits matter most in now current AI driven workplace? So I would like to hear from Meghna.
Sure, Nagesh. So I think I would like to circle back on a few things which we discussed already in a way, but they're very important, and hence a little reiteration of that would, be really helpful to us and our viewers. So I think the habit of continuous learning, keep doing things until you adopt something as a leader, you're not going to be able to set that example. So leaders no longer remain just the decision makers. They continue to do, but it's not just that anymore. So you need to keep um, revising, you need to keep learning, you need to keep doing things as a leader. Only then your team and people around you are going to stay sufficiently motivated to try this yourself. And the second important characteristic I would say is be very, very human centric. We will have a lot of our repetitive activities being offloaded to our co-pilots and our, chat GPTs of the world and everything, which is going to be a big help. So now what's very important is that we have people around us where we can get different perspectives. So inclusion continues and becomes much more important now to get different perspectives because you already have offloaded a major part of your repetitive stuff onto your agents and the likes. And then of course the aspects of empathy, the aspects of inclusion, trust. I think as a leader you should be able to focus a lot more on that and get most out of it, because these are the things that are going to help you build really the products of the future, or render the necessary service that your product is expected to do, or the service it's expected to render. So it's going to be very, very important that you focus a lot more on this, because now you have much more opportunity. And as a leader, it's important that you start automating, you start offloading some of the things, whether you do it yourself or get it done, but offload some of the things and focus on really, the creativity, the empathy, the people aspect of things. Because especially for knowledge work and for anything else around us, it's going to be very important. And I think the third thing we have already spoken about heavily is with respect to experimentation. So try to do something, learn from it, move ahead. Do not carry the baggage, only carry the learnings. And very, very important for leaders, much more than I think anyone else, it's to develop this kind of an experimentation ability. You are going to be successful at some experiments and you're going to falter at some, and it's absolutely okay to let this happen. And last but not the least, one topic that I always wish to remind people is about the ethical use of AI. Let it be transparent, have the right amount of considerations in place. As a leader, you're not going to be an expert in everything around this. So get the right data privacy experts and the likes around it. Understand the regulations of a particular region, and then within those aspects operate. That would be very important because people are going to continuously look up to their leaders, and as a leader you need to set that example. So I think these 3 to 4 things would be something which I would encourage the leaders to set as an example.
Right. Now, would like to hear from Rashmi, your views on this one.
Yeah, I think Meghna covered it pretty well, but there are a couple of more things I'd like to add. One is, the ability to have a judgment. I think is going to become more and more important. AI can definitely give you data, insights, all kinds of things, right? But it cannot fully ever understand the context, the value system, or the consequences that it can bring to human beings unless you've trained it, you've fed into the system, and then it's going to respond based on the information that it has. So I think there's a lot more onus on the leader to have fair judgment. Things like what should be done, what should not be done, why should we, where should we allow AI to take decisions, where should we be making decisions? Like Meghna said, what is ethical, what is not ethical? All of this, falls on the leader, because AI can give you all kinds of data, all kinds of insights, but it can't take a decision, or it can't be responsible for the judgment, or it can't be accountable for the judgment. If I can add, that's one. The second thing I also think is, AI can generate a lot of patterns for you through the insights and, with existing data and so on and so forth. But creativity cannot happen in AI. I mean, of course, it can give you all kinds of information, creative ideas from here or there, and put it together and give you, these are 5 things you can do. But I think the novelty, which means that coming up with breakthrough ideas or newer ideas that do not exist yet, comes from human curiosity. Right. So as long as human beings are curious and have a great imagination, I don't think AI can beat human creativity in that manner. I can give you an example. I don't remember this story as much pretty well, but I'll share a story. So this is about this Arvind Eye Care hospitals, right? So they were getting a lot of cataract surgeries that needed to be done, right? And there were thousands and thousands of people waiting in the queue. And the doctors were really struggling how to cater to everybody's needs. So one of them actually went to a McDonald's store and was just sitting and having a burger during a conversation. And he saw how burgers were being made. There was this one person who was keeping the bun, there was another person who was keeping the cabbage, and they were just passing it along, and another person was keeping a patty, and then somebody closed it and packed it. It was delivered in quick time. So this kind of cross-domain thinking, right? He came and he said, you know what? I have an idea we can do for cataract surgery. So he lined up all the patients, and he had one person to prep the eye, another person to put the lens, and the last person to stitch it up. And whatever expertise he had as an eye doctor to do those subtle things, he would just go one by one and do it. And everybody became efficient. Everybody did a great job. So I think this kind of connection and novelty, I don't think AI can do yet. I don't know in the future. But that comes from human imagination and curiosity and the ability to connect, right? So I think apart from empathy and sense making and meaning making and experimentation, this creativity piece becomes a very important part, and judgment also is another important aspect. I think leadership should develop because it's no longer a title. Leadership is no longer a title. It's just a mindset. Anybody can be a leader at any place they're operating from, and they can do magic. Provided as leaders, we create that environment for everybody to be leaders and show leadership skills.
Absolutely great. Now, what advice you will give? There are a lot of women. They are bright. They are successful, they are, they're highly educated, qualified, and they're smart, but still they want to grow further ahead in their career. So what advice you will give to them? So I would start with Jyoti.
Yeah, Nagesh, interesting time for us. A lot of things. I mean, the panelists share a lot of things here. And we have seen changes in past also, like, okay, internet era, website era, monolithic, microservices, and now AI. So these changes would continue to happen. The person who is able to adapt, embrace, is the one who is going to go ahead. And as fellow panelists mentioned, that AI is automating the task, but human angle still remains the same. Now is the time, like we say that every soul born on the earth has a purpose. So I think now AI can give you some time to think what is your purpose, because it is automating your task. Now you can think, you can ponder, and human are and would always remain the powerful being, right? The example Rashmi just shared about the lens, etc., right? Yeah. So yes, AI can give you the result faster, but your mind and your creativity cannot be replaced by AI, right? So don't forget those things which we had learned in our school days: writing, reading. Continue doing those things, right? When you're reading, you'll see that, okay, you read, you listen to some podcast, etc., and kind of ideas you'll get, it is unparalleled to what AI can give you, right? So I would like to end with this thought that it's time for us to find out our superpower.
Okay, well said. Gazala, your view? One advice?
Yeah. So I think we become the way we have a circle around us. So we have to be very careful in choosing our circle. Be with the people who inspire you, who motivate you, who guides you. So I have experienced this myself when I joined SEEP and when I started being in the CEOs and when I started the work they are doing, their achievements, then that definitely motivates you. So this is the one thing which we should always do. And if you're feeling stuck, you can ask for help from these professionals, and they're very very kind to help you and guide you. So ask for a help if you feel that way. And the way Rashmi said, old school habits we are forgetting and we should not. The way she said, reading, writing, these things we should keep on doing. Nowadays people are not reading much, so we should start reading things. There are lots of books available, lots of ways are available, right? You have audio books, you have on iPad also, you can Kindle, you have so many things are available, but we are not taking advantage of all these things. So we should take advantage of all these things. And last not but the least, growth mindset. Once you have a growth mindset, everything will fall in place.
Meghana, one advice?
Sure. Maybe at least two or three probably are coming to my mind, apart
Go
from,
ahead.
yeah, apart from, yes, for sure. Fastest way to unblock yourself, unstuck yourself, is to learn something new, to experiment, to understand that getting stuck by itself, if you realize you're stuck, that's a very important realization. And you have it in you to really unblock yourself or unstuck yourself. So reinvent, try to do some research on what you can do next. There is definitely, if you've been doing something really interesting over the last years, there is no reason why you cannot do that in future. So find out what that is. Maybe something that was very important 10 years back has now changed. So try to find out what is your uh, new calling, what is your new aspiration, and then try to embark on that journey. It's fine. We all, I would say, on an average, if I were to put some numbers around it, in every roughly around 8 to 10 years, try doing at least one new thing in your career,
Right.
not just moving up, moving sideways, above and beyond that. Try to do something new. For one, you will reinvent yourself, and the other, you will, at the end of uh, the thing, when you look back after 30 years of working, and you ask yourself, have I made it to where I wanted to? And if your answer comes back as yes, then you're really on a good path. Doesn't matter what is available, you can shape your own path, you can reinvent yourself and seek help. It's absolutely okay to seek some mentorship. It's absolutely okay to talk to people. It's absolutely okay to express what you feel and where people can help you with. So I think mentorship, learning, and the ability to reinvent yourself, and all this is within you. So, especially much more for all the women listeners, a lot more to re-emphasize that you can stand up for yourself. You have it within you. So before you expect someone else to stand up for yourself, you do that. You be with your own decisions, make them wisely, stand up for yourself, and you're sure to get enough support to go through that journey. Definitely.
Well said. Rashmi, your views? One advice?
Yeah, one advice would be, I want to connect back to the question that you had asked earlier, right? Where if somebody is stuck in a mid-career, and you gave an example of if somebody is just taken a break as a woman for maternity or for whatever reasons, I want you all women who are stuck know that everybody is in that same position today because the skills that you had before has become obsolete, and everybody is trying to upskill themselves. Everybody is trying to build new capabilities that are emerging. And the one question that you want to ask yourself is how can I combine my existing experience with the new AI tools or the new capabilities the AI is asking us of? And know that your experience is still as powerful, but it has to evolve with technology. So reinvent yourself, like all of you mentioned, and like Meghna concluded, everything is within you. You are the designer of your life.
Right.
Right. So that's what I would like to end this with.
Great discussion. One advice that I will give: keep shining. Keep shining. Yeah. So be master of your own career. Keep everything in your hands and keep learning, keep growing. Before we end today's episode, I just wanted to hear from each panelist or anyone. Can you recommend any book or podcast that a woman, working woman, should listen to?
Yeah, I think one of the books I vouch by is How Women Rise. It's by Sally Helgerson and Marshall Goldsmith. It's a brilliant book. It talks about 12 behaviors that women, hold, which becomes barrier for their own success. So that's one of the books that it's a mandatory read for all women.
Thank you. Any more suggestions on podcast? Maybe a movie.
I mean, there are lots, but immediately the one thing that's coming to, or a couple of things that are coming to my mind is My Life in Full by Indra Nui. Definitely very interesting, very impressive, and do read it. It's really nice, and it's going to give you definitely a lot of wisdom. And then I personally enjoy a lot of and recommend a lot of movies that are based on uh, women who have made their mark in the field of sports. Because if you look at the very recent achievements for some time now, they've all come from places where the facilities were limited to non-existing. Talk about people who have made their mark, represented India in international events, whether it's wrestling or whether it's weightlifting and the likes. Each one of them has come from an entirely different background where nobody, for most parts, would have even imagined. And the kind of coaching facilities and other things that they get at the remote parts of the country and so on. So if things are possible, I know those examples definitely are few and far in between. But yes, I think to get inspired, even one example is more than enough to fill your life with motivation and energy. So if they can, then you definitely can do it.
Absolutely.
There is nothing that should stop you. from not trying to achieve. And it's never about 100% achievement or 100% perfection at all times. If you're able to move ahead in your life path, that's good as it can get. So just go for it. If they have been able to, if they can, you can too.
Great. Thank you. So, with this, we'll end today's discussion. So, from the entire audience of Agile Exploration Hub, I would like to say thank you to all the panelists for being such a wonderful speakers today, and keep supporting. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Nagesh.
you, Nagesh.
Thanks, Nagesh, and lovely, interaction with all the panel members. So thanks a lot, folks.
Thank
Thank
you.
you all, and happy
Thank
Women's
you, and
Day.
bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.